Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share some of my favorite folk magic practices and spells I do for winter solstice. I hope you enjoy! I'm going to just share a quick minute of info about winter solstice and what it is, and if you feel like you know everything you need to know about that, this is timestamped so you can just jump to the next section. Winter solstice is one of the major turning points of the sun. It's the time of year when the days are the shortest and the nights are the longest. In the past, when people relied on visual cues, the sun appeared to stand still in one spot for a few days at midwinter, and after that the days slowly started getting longer. It was a time for celebration and feasting in my lineage. Magical associations and rituals include honoring the sun and asking it to return. Also, vigils where people stayed up all night to greet the dawn. Evergreens because they stayed alive while the rest of the plants appeared dead. Stars are also associated in a lot of different cultures with this time of year. Lights, candles, community, and connection. Let's get started with the spells and practices. In many European and Nordic traditions, any festival or sacred day was celebrated with huge bonfires, feasts, and celebration. I personally always like to create candle spells for winter solstice. This is something I like to do any time of year though, really. My first spell is creating a solstice candle to honor the sun and bring a little of its energy into my house. You'll need a warm or a white colored taper or chime candle and a candle holder with a plate under it to catch the wax and keep you fire safe. And as you place the candle in the holder, you can whisper something like, "Sun's return, candle burnt, I call the sun to return again." And then on the plate, you can place sprigs of holly for protection, pine needles for protection, and also to represent long life or the immortality of the soul, and some cinnamon sticks to bring in protection and the sun's warmth. As you put each herb on the plate, hold it in your hands, name the herb, say its properties, and ask it to protect you through the longest night. The night before solstice, light your candle just before sunset and watch the sun go down. Let your candle burn about a third of the way down, then snuff it. Do the same on the second night, and on the third night, let the candle burn all the way out. In some Western European folk magic, ashes from fires built on any magical or religious day or the candle stubs that were used were then kept and used for protection or as a blessing. So if you want, you can snuff that candle you used for the last spell before it goes all the way out on the third night and put it in a small charm bag to wear or place it somewhere in your home. Maybe add some rosemary or cinnamon for protection to the bag if you want. This next one is a folk tradition that became very well known in Christian times, and the first mention of it was in 1184. It was called a Christmas log. Today we know that as a Yule log. There is a belief that it was a remnant of pagan traditions, but there's no current proof of that. I choose to see it as folk magic that connected people to the land and that they then incorporated into Christian holidays. But that's just my choice. Don't take that as fact, could be completely wrong. I don't have a fireplace these days, so if I get a tree for Yule, I cut off a few inches of the bottom of the tree when I bring it home, or ask them to give me a stub if they cut it off at the lot, which they often do. Then I draw a sun symbol on the stub with a Sharpie or paint it on with walnut or oak gall ink, and I hold it in my hands and I ask that all trees be honored and that the green man be honored, and then I place a candle on it in a holder, asking the candle to help the sun return and for the climate to be again in balance. You can either get a really big candle and burn it for several nights, or get a small one and just burn it on solstice or Yule. This next one is a personal piece of family folk magic that I choose to see as related to solstice. My father had a really fun folk custom when the Christmas tree was taken down. He'd saw off the evergreen branches and nail them to the sides of a simple square bird feeder that he built to provide more protection to the small birds during winter. We like the small birds. And he would drill large holes in the Christmas tree stem itself and place birdseed in it and put it somewhere where it was sheltered from the wind and rain. And as I got older, I really appreciated it, and it reminded me of the folk magic practice of gathering and bringing in evergreens to give the nature spirits winter shelter, which is why I've included it here. In some parts of England, bells were rung on winter solstice to warn people that it was the longest night. Especially during Christian times, it was believed that spirits of the dead were abroad and dangerous spirits might come out and attack good Christians. And bells were often used to dispel malevolent spirits as well. And candles were lit in windows to welcome the sun back. But that custom very quickly merged with Yule and Christmas celebrations, which I'm going to talk about next week a little bit more. I like to do a bit of folk magic with this custom to protect my home and honor the solstice. To do this practice, you'll need 4 candles and a bell. Place 1 candle in a window in 4 different parts of the house. It's good for it to be somewhere that you're able to see it, just for fire safety reasons. As you light each candle, you can say something like, "Candle spirit, shining bright, protect my home this solstice night." You don't have to make it rhyme. Just say what feels right to you. Then go around your house and ring the bell gently at each of the 4 candles and say something like, "The spell is set." It can be really simple. If you're more advanced, you might want to also ask the candles to be beacons to the spirits that you work with who have your best interest at heart, and do a little work with them on solstice night. Over the years, when I have extra time, which is not often these days, I like to prepare small gift bags for students and friends, and what I put in them really varies year to year. I always put candles, and sometimes I'll anoint them with sun water made on solstice day, or with hazelnut liqueur for luck and wisdom. Candied walnuts for remembering the sweetness of life and being smart and clear and focused. Some festive boxes of matches charged with warmth and joy, so that whenever they light a candle with those matches, that energy goes into their candle. And I'll also add holly for protection. Holly was used as part of Roman Saturnalia celebrations, which happened around the solstice season. And then I'll add some evergreen or rosemary if there's room in the bag, and tie it with a red string for protection to seal in the magic. Some years I'll make Nocinno at summer solstice, which is a liqueur made from green walnuts, lemons, alcohol, and warming spices. And there's lots of recipes online for it. Charge the whole thing with joyous celebration, strain it out after 6 weeks, which usually ends up being sometime in early August around Lammas, and then let it age and sit strained until winter solstice, so that the tannins disperse, which are pretty bitter and awful tasting, and also not so great for your body. And then you just bottle it up. I don't personally drink alcohol, but I'll put it out as an offering, and I really often give it as a gift. Let me know in the comments if you have any special winter solstice practices that you'd like to share. And also, you can let me know if you celebrate winter solstice separately, or if you kind of lump all the midwinter holidays together. I wanted to let you know that my Patreon Community Solstice Workshop will be live, so if you want to support me there, it would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, stay safe and be well.